Now, Eliza is in show business. How about now a salesman out there who is about to make a presentation? He is seeking an account. Michael, a few tips from instant rapport.
Yes, there are good salesmen, there are bad salesmen.
Right.
Bad salesmen are not people who don't know how to sell. They don't know how to get out of the way of themselves in their selling.
Right.
So what they do is they go out there and they sell the way they were taught to sell. They throw everything they can at the customer, everything except being in rapport with the customer. You must be on the same wavelength. You must be connected with a customer or a boss if you want that raise and or if you want that sale. If you don't have rapport, you're not going to have the sale. There's no question about that.
How about people who get very nervous? They're just not confident when they meet new people.
Everyone gets nervous.
Really?
Everyone I get nervous.
I never get nervous.
You know what? I understand that when you sell anything, if it is a pencil, a song, or something, first you sell yourself.
Yes.
You have to sell yourself right, and open yourself. Then you can sell them anything you want.
Yes, it's true. Rapport is able. When you have rapport with people, you're in rapport with life. And the book, Instant Rapport, is about selling people yourself. So that in the context of any frame, say, at your job, or at parties, or in your business, or anywhere really, you're able to have a connection with people very, very, very quickly, like you've never had before.
And after you get them to do what you want them to do, is there a way that they can really love you, even though that...
Yeah, it allows people to see you in the light that's most comfortable for them. See, when you meet people, you're so busy trying to get your act together and your presentation out there that people get really uncomfortable with, you know, trying to figure you out. They're trying to blend something different out there into who they are. What this does is it teaches you how to be like them, just for a few minutes, so that you're able to be with them, so that you're able to be connected to them. Then people do anything for you.
Once you connect. A few of my friends want to meet this noted communications specialist. And I want you, will you both be anchor people with me today?
Yes, absolutely.
I like that word, anchor people. I don't know what that means. I saw it once on the side of a boat, anchor people. But I did get sidetracked, and I happen to be a fan of Eliza Kashi, and I play her records many, many nights on the radio.
Thank you.
I like some of those songs here, After You've Gone, Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie Melody, Going Out of My Head. And I was wondering if, I always like to know what's new in the...
This is a long time ago, and this was alive. Since then I did 2 cassettes, Hello People 1 and 2, and now I would like to tell you the reason why I'm in New York. I really live in Los Angeles, and I came to New York, which I love to be here, look at the tall building and watch New Yorkers and all this. It's lovely. But because I'm having concerts here, I'm having the Co-op, 50,000 people in a few weeks. We will do it there, and I'm going to be in a synagogue in where is it? Yonkers.
Where love conquers. Can I pull any song out of the... I'm just fishing for a way to get this lady to sing, even though...
Yes,
though Eliza...
So I'll tell you, I'm working now on a new international medley, because wherever I perform, people expect me to sing some, beside Hebrew and Yiddish, they expect me to sing Spanish and this.
Could I choose a song from any language then? Let me choose French. How about a touch of... La Vie en Rose.
Yeah, this is in the middle of my...
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, it's in the middle of my
Are we on the same wavelength?
We are.
Is that good rapport?
That's great rapport.
And that's spontaneous?
Yes, very.
All right.
It is, this is the song of Edith Piaf, and I love Edith Piaf, and I love the song.
Teeny weeny bit.
Teeny weeny. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit de mots d'amour, de mots de tout le jour, et ça me fait quelque chose. And so on.
Beautiful.
And thank you. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to put in it also a beautiful song from Brazil, Manhã de Carnaval. I'd like to do a few bars of this. Do you know this song? It's from the movie Orfeo Negro.
Poquito.
Black Orfeo.
Right.
Manhã, tão bonita manhã, de dia feliz que chegou. O sol no céu surgiu, em cada cor brilhou, voltou o sonho então. ao coração.
You talk about instant tea, instant coffee, instant rapport. That was instant what, Michael? Instant
instant beauty.
Instant
Wasn't
beauty.
That wonderful to hear?
A wonderful
Do you know
show.
No Regrets?
Of course,
Remember
one of
Jane
my.
Morgan used to sing
course,
that?
of course,
Can you
one
do
of
like
my.
a bar to that?
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal.
Hello, people, right? Who needs a symphony orchestra?
Yay,
Michael
great
Brooks,
songs.
Elisa Kashi, you and me, and the Joe Franklin Show, and it carries on following these words.
Now is the perfect time, and the season is just right. You can play all day and dance into the night. At beautiful Mount Airy Lodge, all you have to bring is your love of everything.
For reservations, phone 1-800-441-4410.
All you have to bring is your love of everything. Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
It's one of the best-kept secrets. Burlington's menswear department, where you'll find everything a man wants to wear and sale prices that are hard to beat. Famous designer summer slacks, $15.90. Levi's knit shirts, just $9.90. Famous label cotton sweaters, only $16.90. Dress shirts by Henry Grethel and other designers, $16.90. Pure silk designer ties, $8.75. And Arnold Palmer blazers, $59.90. Burlington Coat Factory's menswear sale. It's the secret to dressing well for less.
Your girl will be right down, sir. Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
From crashes, dents, and rust to a great paint job, Mako brings your car back to life, all for a price lower than you'd expect. And accident claims, it's all part of the job at Mako. So when you have an uh-oh,
Better get Mako.
Final weeks. These are the final weeks for Furniture Clearance Mart in Waterbury and Stanford. In these final weeks, you can save 35 to 65% on famous name brand furniture and bedding throughout Furniture Clearance Mart's two huge showrooms. Living room prices slash to $698. Sleep sofas $298. Wood dinettes $248. Mattress sets $118. All lamps and accessories 1/2 off. Must be sold now. Don't miss the final weeks of Furniture Clearance Mart's gigantic going out of business sale. 738 Wolcott Street in Waterbury and 587 Elm Street in Stanford. Final weeks going on now.
Okay, hello, people.
Hello,
We're
Joe.
going to have a lot of excitement today. Mr. Copernicus is here for his many, many fans. We've got a lot of fans out there. We're going to be invited today to a Dream Weavers Fantasy Convention. That's a mouthful. I'm going to be there myself, I hope. A little reintroduction time. How about one more tidbit, Mr. Michael Brooks, on becoming a better, let's say, rapporteur or communicator? One tidbit?
Yes, a report technologist. I think you're doing a good job, Joe.
Thanks.
Good
So
demonstration,
far.
yeah.
So far. Give us one golden nugget, one night.
Well, usually one of the things that helps people to be in rapport with other people is to speak in the same sensory language that they speak in. So if someone's a visual and uses words like "I see what you mean," or I have a perspective on that, or let's get a focus, you would always want to speak back visually to them in the same language.
Where can we see you in person? I want to be in one of your. I want to be in the audience one day.
We're doing a report technology training towards the end of June in New York City, and people who are interested to attend that should contact Man in the Moon Productions, and their number in New York City is 212-769-3080.
Are they in the phone book, do you think?
They're in the phone book under Man in the Moon Productions.
That's a great name.
They're producing the training.
I want to be your student. Now, somebody asked me to ask Elisa Kashi if you ever heard of a lady who used to be the biggest star in vaudeville. I mentioned Sophie Tucker. This lady's name was Belle Baker. And when she sang Ailey, Ailey, they say that the audience just cried rivers of tears. Belle Baker.
No, I don't know Belle Baker. I'm sorry. Belle Baker, nice meeting you.
No, she's gone maybe 30, 40 years, but she was...
Oh, that's why I don't know her.
You don't want to meet her yet, right?
No, not yet. Although I believe she's there waiting for us. You know, I believe that when we go there, we meet the same people again.
Going up is going down, right?
You go down. No, we all go up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, opposite Aliza Kashi is the widely respected, widely quoted jazz critic on it. Now, when I said jazz critic, I saw your eyes being. What do you want to ask Chip to find? Want to ask Chip to find a question?
Yes, I just met Chip, and I respect jazz, and I love jazz. And I asked him sincerely, what does one has to study? Is there a school to be a critic of any, and especially critic of jazz? You cannot wake up one morning and say, I want to be a jazz critic. What do you do to be one?
You start with the enthusiasm for the music, and maybe you're just a fan, and you go to a lot of concerts and things, and maybe on your spare time you start writing things to boost something good you've seen. It's usually boosting things you're excited about more than knocking things you don't like. And eventually, in my case, that became more and more important thing to do when I wound up where almost all the writing I wound up doing, to my surprise, was about performers and musicians.
But do you know, for example, do you know music? Do you know chord changes? Do you know how jazz is built and all that?
Maybe you started out, maybe played a little music amateurly on the side or something like that, so you have some feel. But it's more important to have some kind of a general sensitivity towards it, and want to go out and tell people, hey, you know, like Monday night I was out seeing Ruth Brown again, and at the Lone Star Roadhouse, and I've been back there repeatedly, and it's so wonderful, and you want to say, why is it wonderful, and try to convey that to people. That's what
and his writing style is so crisp and fresh. Like I tell people, Michael, when they, like she asked about being a jazz critic, people ask me, you know, if you want to be in show business, I tell them, put a whole bunch of marbles in your mouth. Every day take one marble out of your mouth, and when you've lost all your marbles, then you're in show business, right? Is that a bit of advice?
Well, it's not in my book, but I would agree with it.
Mr. Chip DeFar is here today to introduce John Holland to the audience. Would you do the honors?
It's exciting because there's been so many films about jazz that are focusing on the dark and seamy side and have a crab vision. He's produced one of the first films, or directed one of the first films I've seen that captures the joyous giving side of jazz. And it opens tonight at the Bleecker Street Cinema.
Which date? Which date?
May 19th in New York, which is later tonight.
And John Holland has directed what movie?
A Night in Havana with Dizzy Gillespie.
With Dizzy Gillespie?
Yes.
Is Dizzy, you know, we spoke about Dizzy the other day with Bill Cosby. You watched that show?
Right, sure.
At great length. Bill Cosby's a great fan of. Is Dizzy optimistic about the future of jazz, Mr. Holland, overall?
Dizzy is optimistic about the future in general.
Really?
Dizzy is a person with more heart and soul than anybody I have ever met, I think. Aside from being a brilliant musician, it's what makes him so wonderful to film also. You can almost visualize his spirit.
And this made in Cuba. How would you explain the importance of Afro-Cuban music, which I think is important?
Well, it's very important, particularly to Dizzy. He explains in the film how when the slaves came to the United States, their drums were taken away from them. The slave masters were afraid that they could talk from one plantation to another. And so they lost their African rhythms. They kept the melodies in spirituals and then into blues and then into jazz. When Dizzy first heard a conga player from Cuba, where the slaves were allowed to keep their drums, he was astounded by it. And he and this conga player named Chano Pozo put the two back together. And it's really been responsible for all the interesting rhythms in both jazz and eventually rock and roll.
Would you say that much of your film, Mr. Holland, is political?
No.
No.
No. I think that was as much out of respect for Dizzy's wishes as anything else. He is a Baha'i, and he believes in one world and a single world government, and is quick to point out that he's an artist and not political.
Please, would you do me a favor? Would you ask Mr. Holland if we can see a little bit of that movie? As only you can say. Would you like to see a little bit of the movie?
Mr. Holland, I believe that you have a little bit of clip of your movie. Can we just see
so happens I have one right here. I'd be happy to have it.
Michael, would you second that emotion? You want to...
Nominated and seconded, yes.
A little bit now, ladies and gentlemen, first time on any TV show, I believe, right?
Yes,
of a
indeed.
big, I mean, rave reviews for this movie. It's incredible.
And you directed it?
Yes.
You're a big shot.
No.
That's wonderful.
Maybe someday.
No, you are with these reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of the movie called
A Night in Havana.
Directed by John Holland and featuring Dizzy Gillespie, who was not Dizzy.
happened to my face. My face just went that way, and that's it. I just sort of worry about it a little bit when I get around 80 or something like that. Say, when I get 80, will my jaws withstand the pressure?
Bravo, bravo.
Jazz
Bravo.
fans, you are now in bop heaven, right? Would you say that? Because the noted American documentary maker John Holland has made a movie on Dizzy Gillespie. What's your favorite scene in the whole movie? If you had to choose your one favorite sequence, John.
It's one that I probably can't talk about the exact lines on television, but Dizzy tells us the secret source of a trumpeter's wind. And it's not where you expect it would come from, according to Dizzy.
It's from your ear.
Not exactly.
Close.
Close.
We were asking the other day if Dizzy was the inventor or the co-inventor of bebop. I think he's one of the, right?
Absolutely. He and Charlie Parker, Thelonious Monk are the three gods credited with it. I was amazed when we got a chance to do this that nobody had ever done a film about Dizzy. All the other jazz greats of this era, most of them are dead. And when people try to do films about them, they either have to use actors or they have to use a lot of old archival footage. Dizzy is still here, and no one had done it.
Because he's as radiant in personship as his music is radiant, isn't that right?
That's what makes the film so special, is that no actor could capture. Dizzy really radiates something, that warmth, that love of humanity, and when he talks, even if you just watch his face, they show him meeting like the sister of Chano Pozo, this great Congo player. Dizzy doesn't have to do anything, and it fascinates you. And if they get an actor who looks like him to play him on screen someday, it won't be happening.
May I play with the word love before I ask you a couple more times where that movie is playing, because I want to see it. Mr. Brooks, somebody watching right now, let's say, whose love affair is going down the drain.
Yeah.
We get mail. I'm serious. We get mail from people who tell me that that their love affair is really going lousy. Could your book help such a person?
Yeah, there's a great part in the book that teaches people how to change their strategy for falling out of love, so that when one is falling out of love, we teach them to insert a picture in their mind of their love who they're leaving when they first met that person. And what that does is it gives them a fresh, clean break between the past and the future, so people's time for mourning becomes less and less and less. It's a very effective technique that we have in the book.
You like that concept, Ms. Kashi? You like the...
Yes, I do. You know what I believe?
Yes.
That it would be lovely if in school, from the first years of schooling, we will be taught more than just how much is 2 and 2 and ABC. We'll be taught a little bit about life, how life is. Things like this can be taught at school when you are young.
Yes, we just got contacted by the federal government to introduce report technology into the school systems so that teachers and professors would have a way of eliciting students' learning strategies, so that instead of randomly introducing information into a classroom, each student can be communicated to through his own strategy for learning. This would make up all the slack for the people we've always heard who are slow learners, underachievers. It's a very effective technology. In my book, Instant Rapport, I describe some of what we're doing.
Mr. Holland, a documentary one day on rapport, possible.
Interesting.
Does it sound great?
I'm working on my rapport skills.
So,
movies are rapport. Movies are 2 actors or 3 actors. You must have rapport between each other, so it clicks there.
And it's also absolutely essential to have a rapport between the director and the actors,
Absolutely.
because how else am I going to communicate to them what I want from them? Now, directing Dizzy was another job altogether. It was mainly a question of keeping up with him. The man has unbelievable energy. At 72, he runs me ragged.
He's the energy conductor.
He is astonishing, and you really don't direct him. He's such an original person. What you can do, he's very cooperative if he's interested in a project. You can point him in the right direction, But he has to interpret whatever it is that you have in mind through his own perceptions of the world and his own art, and then he comes out with something wonderful.
Bill Cosby was here the other day doing a whole routine on how Bill Cosby chooses food. You know, do you remember that one, Jim? It was fantastic. They're very...
John's a little modest, too. The reason the film's this good is he spent 2 years boiling that 20 hours of film down to 85 minutes, and if he didn't have that dedication, it's not enough just to go out and shoot Disney.
One more time, it is playing at the...
Bleecker Street Theater.
What address? That's got to be on Bleecker Street?
That's on Bleecker and LaGuardia in New York.
And it's called?
And it's called A Night in Havana. Dizzy Gillespie in Cuba opens May 19th, which is tonight. Also opening in Washington, D.C., in Portland, Oregon, in San Diego, in Chicago, in New Orleans.
Give our love to Dizzy.
A town near you, I hope.
How about Los Angeles? It will come there?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
How do we catch Miss Aliza Kashi name the next anything? You said 50,000 people in the audience?
Yes, it's 20 years for the co-op. And I was chosen to do the 50,000 people outdoors. And then I'm going, and I was in Atlantic City where they gamble, the showboat.
The one-armed bandits?
Yeah, no, the armed bandits are upstairs.
Right.
Now, the people are the one who are bandited. Showboat I did there, and I'm going in the summer again and again, and I'm part of the family there. It's lovely.
And in the words of Norm Crosby, thanks for the instant rap report, right?
Thanks, Joe.
Who's your publisher?
Warner.
Oh, that's a good
Warner Books.
Big book.
It's just about to make the bestseller list.
Boy, oh boy, that's a good one. I love how-to books. This is one of the best how-to books.
Thank
you don't need this book, let me tell you, Aliza. You could write a book about your life. That would be a big seller. We shall return with these charming people. Mr. If I began to tell you these people's names, it would take a week. Some exciting people coming up following these words. Let's watch closely. See you at the Bleecker Street Cinema.
It's new, 1-900-321-TALK. Talk to other nice people just like you. It's not like those other lines with people shouting all at once. Just nice girls, nice guys, great talk at 89 cents a minute at 1-900-321-TALK. They're out there, waiting to talk to you now. You won't find people like this on any other party line. 89 cents a minute.
We quit smoking. Well, I'm not smoking. And I didn't think anybody could do that.
15,000 cigarettes a year times 35 years.
So I've been smoking for 45 years. It's the easiest thing in the world to quit. I've done it 1,000 times.
Cigarette helps you break the nicotine addiction, and it works in as little as 7 days.
I smoked 43 years. I quit just like that. I thought I was just going to go nuts wanting a cigarette. I never did. I was just wonderful.
5 packs a day for a while. I'm doing great now.
She bought it and said, try it, and I reluctantly, half-heartedly tried it. But it was so easy that just breezed through it.
Didn't have the urge to eat anymore.
Matter of fact, I lost about 2 pounds.
No way did I want to gain weight, and I was.
When they offered that money-back guarantee, I thought I'd just have to try it.
No matter how much you smoke, no matter how long you've been smoking, with Cigarette, you'll quit or your money back. Guaranteed. All for hundreds of dollars less than other major programs.
On the other programs, I guess I spent around $2,500 to $3,000.
When you think of the price, it's just amazing.
Think of what you can do with $1,000.
Well, I figured it up at 25 cents a packet. I could have bought 2 of the homes that I live in now.
And without smoking, we've got a few more years to go together.
Tell them to do what I did. Just order it.
I'd say pick up that phone like I did and call the toll-free number.
Order your cigarettes now. Call 1-800-922-4600. With the cigarettes program, you're guaranteed to stop smoking in as little as 7 days, without withdrawal, without gaining weight, and without spending hundreds of dollars. To save COD fees, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-922-4600. Or send $19.95 plus $4 postage and handling to Cigarettes, Box 4444, Carlsbad, California, 92008. Or call toll-free 1-800-922-4600 now.
I would only like to hope that the cordiality that once was enjoyed between the United States and Cuba might be restored by Dizzy Gillespie, even better than the State Department, better than politicians. And Dizzy's a great man. Would you say, Mr. Copernicus, that Dizzy Gillespie is anything but dizzy?
Dizzy is spontaneous as I am.
We've been getting much interest recently through calls and messages here that we present a talented young man named Copernicus, whose career seems to be skyrocketing. He's got a whole bunch of record albums, and how could I not ask you about that catchy name, and is that the real name and stuff like that?
Well, I actually took it from the first Copernicus, who told the world the Earth was not the center of the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
That the sun was, and I felt I had a message of equal power to tell the world.
And what have been some of the landmark stops or some of the high spots so far in the life and times of this Copernicus?
Of this Copernicus? Well, we're growing. What I do is not considered
conventional.
Conventional, and but we're growing. As you see, we're doing a tour. We're having a tour up to Moscow and Czechoslovakia and Poland and West Germany. And the third album, Deeper, which you have there, was up for a Grammy nomination. And
you've got a lot of fans. Let me tell you that. I want to tell you that when you go on the tour, you're officially commissioned by us to maybe shoot some videos and come back.
We're shooting video. We have a special video man on this tour.
And show them here. Where's your home base, Copernicus?
New York City.
And what's your record label?
Nevermore Inc.
Nevermore.
Yes.
You want to hear a sample, Dave?
Sure
Let me introduce
do.
Dave Street. Dave Street, my friends, remember the days of a man named Sam Levinson? He was the...
I know Sam Levinson well. Yeah, I remember him. He always talked about his family, right?
That's right. School teacher and humorist.
That's exactly.
Dave Street is a school teacher and humorist.
I know Copernicus too.
Really?
Dave and I
used to see him perform before I was a teacher in my younger days. I used to go see Copernicus perform at Max's Kansas City. And I've seen him at the beginning of his career.
And all I'm reading about now, Dave, is kids and drugs. How do you tell your students how do you explain to stay off drugs? Is it easy? Because once you get addicted, it's very tough to get unaddicted. I'm serious now. I'm not being facetious.
I show them what will happen to them if they use drugs.
Are you serious?
they turn into this. You see, kids today are playing with toys that get them ready to what's going to happen to them if they use drugs. This is really just a toy that sucks the blood out of the other toys. And I don't know, it's really like these kids are actually now being attuned to play with toys that look like they've been exposed to drugs. I know it's pretty scary because only education, this is a serious thing now, but really only education, nothing else. I hope the education czar is out there listening. Nothing but education is going to prevent these kids from using drugs.
Because they are quite illegal, to say the least. You can get in all kind of hot water, not only being addicted, but with the law.
And it's really true, because a lot of kids, if they're not educated, they're not smart enough to know that they're going to go to jail if they're arrested. They say, well, really, if you don't educate a kid and says, I'm not going to go to jail, big deal, I'm making $2 grand a week selling, they don't know it. You have to put it in their head.
Copernicus, any reaction to that remark?
But it's the image that the performers and movies put out. For example, I was watching Humphrey Bogart. He had a problem, right?
Yes.
What did he do? He went to a bottle of whiskey, poured the drink, right? Drank the drink, then he lit a cigarette, okay? And all of a sudden, now he's powerful. He had more power to deal with this problem he had. And this is it's the image put forth that drugs are good for you. And if you have a problem, you take a drink, and that's going to make you more powerful, and it's definitely not. I'm ashamed of my first album cover. Let me see it, please.
Which one?
Well, it's right there on stage, with the first one. There, I'm with a cigarette in my mouth.
This one?
No, this first one, right here, Joe.
Yeah, with a cigarette, right.
Yeah. That was taken in 1985.
Right, that's
but somebody in the audience, I picked that off the stage, but somebody lit it. I'm not proud of that. Now that my mind has changed about that. It's not. Why should I go up there and shell a cigarette? I mean, why do I need that?
What do you want to say, Dave?
Before I worked with kids, I never thought that way either. It's actually only since I've really begun working with children am I really aware of that we as adults, the role model that we give children on a moment-to-moment basis, they really pay attention to. I mean, it's really hard because it's easiest for us to say, don't smoke, don't drink. But, they see us come home at night. They see us go and have a nightcap or something. If we're going to eliminate drugs and alcohol from this country, it means we have to do it ourselves first. I mean, we have to work extra hard. I mean, sometimes I work now with kids all day, and I go and perform at night. And there's the temptation to have a drink before I go on stage, and I have to say, no, I can't do that. I have to pull my inner strength out there, and I have to go on stage and just do it.
May we ask Chuck Nash, who is the pride of Nashville, and this man has got big hit records. Any reaction to what you've heard so far today, Mr. Nash, on any of this?
Well, I tend to agree that the peer pressure against all the children in the schools and whatever tend to make them want to follow each other. And I agree that being able to be taught about the drug and the whole drug system is the answer. And if they don't get through to them that way, they'll never get through.
I love your kind of music. I would love to play a sample right now by Copernicus, then we're going to talk about... These magazines are worth something like $50,000 a piece, so after the show, we're going to have a couple of bodyguards here, right, Mr. Edwards?
What else would you like to do with that bottle of wine? Like the guy broke that $500,000 bottle of wine, remember last week?
Copernicus, a musical genius. Copernicus is one of the of modern music's most shocking and brilliant wizards, and I want to be at that last concert before you go. Can I hear a sample of you right now? Are you in the mood?
This is the first minute from a piece called Blood from our first album.
This man has a lot of fans. I want to tell you something. I'm going to make a lot of people happy right now, giving you a little bit of Blood, and it's done by Copernicus prior to his tour of Europe, and when he comes back, we're going to show the videos right here on this desk, right?
Yes, sir.
First, a sample of the man. A sample.
The mother of the dream. The kiss that could never be. And all the twisted dream that Copernicus could move. Walked into the sweat like God's song, like time, like melody. Walk me now. You know, it's not that emotional when you understand. When you understand, it's peace. Peace. It's peace. It's peace. It's just the ignorance that makes all the static.
You know what I think, Copernicus? You know what I think? That you defy classification. I mean, the obvious thing now I would say avant-garde, but if somebody would say avant-garde about you, they'd be burdening you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well, I use all different forms.
But I don't like when they classify people.
No, well, it's not fair. I personally, I use every style of music there is. My musicians, that was Fanula on a vocal and Larry Curran on vocal, by the way, in that thing. But
but what you are is you. You're you.
Oh yeah. And
Right?
the musicians I have, the great musicians I deal with, who are able to express their music spontaneously.
Ladies and gentlemen, opposite Copernicus, who gets in. I mean, I've got more press on this fellow here. These are rave reviews. You got to be doing something good, right? You know, since I'm the fellow who more or less made the word nostalgia popular, am I the logical man to introduce Alexander Edwards, who's going to talk about a nostalgia festival? I want to be in the audience for this one, so make it good and official.
I sincerely hope that you can make it down. You have many fans at our shows. We've decided to get together with fans, collectors, and dealers from all over the country, particularly in a science fiction, superhero, and fantasy vein. We're going to have just about every comic book, all the rarest that ever came out from the last 50 years. We're going to be celebrating all of the science fiction shows that were ever on television, starting with the earliest from the 50s and going right up to Star Trek and Star Wars. We're going to have exhibits, displays, millions of dollars of props and artwork on display.
Who is your very favorite personal superhero, Alexander?
I grew up collecting Superman and Batman for the last 25 years.
Boy, before we make it official and tell people where and when, let me hold a few of these on the screen. This is worth, this one roughly how much?
That one is worth in excess of $10,000.
$10,000. Why?
That is Batman #1.
Wow. In mint condition.
Pretty close. These were taken out of the vault just for your show.
I appreciate that.
And that is Batman #2. And these are from 1940. And there's Superman, Batman, and Robin welcoming everyone to the 1939 World's Fair Special Edition.
Worth about?
$1,000.
No, I've asked Mr. Edwards not to let me hold up the $50,000 one because I get nervous. Suppose you hold up the $50,000 one.
I get a little nervous also. This has not been taken out of the vault for many years.
Right.
People ask me, what's the most valuable Batman item?
Right.
And from what degree do they go?
Yes.
So the first degree is that display that I gave you.
Right, I showed that before, right?
You don't have to be that wealthy to come down to pick up a button, a badge,
Right.
a pin, $1, $2, $3. Then I went to some serious collectors and I said, what's the most valuable book you have on Batman?
Right.
Batman's going to be our special display honoring his 50th anniversary. He's 50 years old this month. This book is the very first appearance of Batman anywhere in anything.
And that is worth?
In excess of $40,000.
Boy.
And it's in mint condition, and it's 50 years old.
Copernicus, what is your informed appraisal? We're going to...
Well, would he take $39,000?
Got change of a nickel?
I'll have to speak to my agent.
Alexander, invite us in.
I'm inviting everyone. I hope, no matter where you are, you can come down Memorial Day weekend, one day only, in New York City, Sunday, May 28th, the Dreamweaver Fantasy Convention on West 57th Street between 9th and 10th Avenue at the Days Inn Hotel.
And the the exact day is?
Sunday, May 28th. There's no work or school on Monday, so you can make it. And we're having guest stars, exhibits, displays. It's going to run all day up until 8 p.m.
We'll be there. We're setting up a bit of music by the Pride of Nashville. Following these words, ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Nash, and he is of the moment first. Let's watch closely while I run home with some of these rare books. I'm only kidding. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Has this ever happened to you? What a mess. How about this? It doesn't wear as well as it tastes. That dress shirt and expensive silk blouse have had it. Or have they? Now there's a way to deal with the most difficult stains quickly, safely, and thoroughly. DD7. DD7 is a super concentrated formula that removes stains but won't harm fabric. Now where's the ink? Even this delicate silk blouse comes incredibly clean. And that's not all. Tar, iodine, blood, rust. DD7 gets rid of them all. Are your window shears dull and gray? A quick soak in diluted DD7 restores them to a like-new white. DD7 is a whiz on carpets, even upholstery. Think of the money you'll save. We've stained these hands with ink, iodine, and car grease. Just watch. DD7 and a little water instantly remove the stain, even from under the fingernails. And there's more. Imagine this is your washing machine. A red sock gets in with the whites. Everything turns pink. Ink from a broken pen, even iodine. A little multi-purpose DD7 in the final rinse, and it's goodbye to all those unwanted stains forever. Order your tube of DD7 today for just $14.95, or we'll double your order for only $5 more. That's 2 tubes for only $19.95. Enough to replace all these expensive cleaners at a fraction of the price. If DD7 doesn't work this quickly and easily for you, simply return the unused portion for a refund. Have your credit card ready and order now.
Call toll-free, 1-800-356-3700. That's 1-800-356-3700. Or send $14.95 for 1 tube, or save $10 by sending $19.95 for 2 tubes, plus $4 shipping to DD7, Box 8989-R, Buffalo Grove, Illinois. That's DD7, Box 8989-R, Buffalo Grove, Illinois.
We must come to grips with the problems of gun control and drug peddling, or we'll lose our most precious possession, our children. We must halt the tide of violence towards children which is enveloping our society. Child abuse and neglect, the shooting of children in crossfire on the streets, plus other assaults on our children are reaching terrifying proportions. We need an organized parents' march on Washington to demand much tougher laws against drugs and guns.
Thank Jimmy Webb for the great hour the other night. 2 nights ago, an hour with Jimmy Webb. And how could I not, in that same mood, ask Chuck Nash what it meant when you were goodwill ambassador of square dancing and country music in England, because that's so different from, you know, what happens here.
Yes, it is, Joe. That's when I was in the U.S. Air Force, and I was stationed in England. I was there for 3 years, and we formed a group over there, of course. And we played the NCO clubs and officers' clubs. But then the base commander came to me one day, and he said, Chuck, I'd like to ask you a favor. And I said, sure. And he said, we'd like to use you as kind of a goodwill ambassador for the English people around the base area. So I said, absolutely. So what he had us do, and what we gladly did was we would attend fundraising functions for the English people, and we would play country music. And then we would also attend dances, and we would teach them how to square dance. And this was within, I would say, about 50-mile radius of the base, completely all around.
Oh, that's a claim to fame. And now this young man is helping to preserve our American heritage relating to wild mustangs?
Yes, I am, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me. Each year, more of our heritage is lost in this country through progress or whatever. But the wild mustangs, I met a gentleman named Mr. Dayton Hyde, and he has incorporated the Institute of the Range for the American Mustang.
Where will this be?
That would be in North Dakota.
Boy, well, I'd like to do an hour on that someday. Into the music sunset right now, into the intermission with a touch of Chuck Nash, and I'll say it again, his records get what is known as 4 square dances. No, 4 stars in Cashbox magazine, and he sings like this, a touch of Mr. Chuck Nash. He's the best.
Remember me when you fall out of love with him. I watch from a distance as you walk with him, and the tears start to fall as I remember when you used to hold me and love me tenderly. Then you met him and fell out of love with me. So remember.
Want an adjustable bed but don't think you can afford one? Then you haven't priced Craftmatic adjustable beds lately. Craftmatic Model 2 beds cost hundreds less than these quality flatbeds. And this Craftmatic Model 3 is available at 50% of Craftmatic 2's low cost. 50%. Craftmatic Model 3 and 2 beds adjust to all these healthful positions and offer optional heat and massage, yet cost less than these quality flatbeds. Get our free catalog by mail, including information on Craftmatic 3s at savings of 50% of Craftmatic 2's low cost.
Hello, I'd like to receive your free catalog and 50% information by mail.
Certainly, sir.
It's easy, so call for this free catalog right away.
Call 1-800-225-6400. That's 1-800-225-6400. Toll free. Call 1-800-225-6400.
Hi, I'm John Bon Jovi for Covenant House. If you're a runaway living on the streets, call the 9 line. Remember, the streets are tougher than you are.
You wouldn't make fun of cancer, would you? For an informative booklet about mental illness, call the American Mental Health Fund.
Now is the perfect time, and the season is just right. You can play all day and dance into the night. At beautiful Mount Airy Lodge, all you have to bring is your love of everything.
For reservations, phone 1-800-441-4410.
All you have to bring is your love of everything. Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Lady Martin paint is a quality paint created especially for women. It's delicately scented, comes in white, and 16 delicious decorator colors, like pineapple and champagne. Covers in one coat, dries in just 30 minutes, and you only need water to clean up. But best of all, at Lady Martin's second gallon free sale, you get 2 gallons for the price of 1. At Martin's, they know how to treat a lady.
Where'd my hour go, right? If you want to know about Chuck Nash and his wild Mustang preservation benefits, you can write to me, WWOR-TV, Mr. Dave Street at the Comedy Works in Philly, and Copernicus at CBGB's May 27th.
New York, huh?
And to know about the phone for Mr. Edwards.
For the Dreamweaver Convention, call area 718-266-1853.
Do it again.
718-266-1853. And dealer tables are still available. Call today.
I'll be browsing on, what day?
May 28th at the Days Inn Hotel in the heart of Manhattan. $5 for the entire convention.
Dave, say goodbye for me, Dave, as only you can.
Goodbye for me, Dave.
Have a good
Goodbye
everything.
for me, Dave. Goodbye for him. Goodbye for me.
It's one of the best-kept secrets. Burlington's menswear department, where you'll find everything a man wants to wear and sale prices that are hard to beat.
В нашем зале сейчас много американских гостей, и поэтому для них я переведу то, что сказал ведущий. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to welcome you to this show on this particular day, the 4th of July, which is the Independence Day of the United States of America. And we congratulate you with this day. And we are glad to present to you a group which is rather new to Muscovites and to all Soviet spectators, which is the group Copernicus. The leader is Joseph Smelkovsky. I'd better not go into details because you should see that group. It is a magnificent show and you would enjoy it, really.
Your poor applause is going to change things? You think that the clap of your poor lips upon your poor chest is going to change the structure of the atom? The fall of the neutron upon its own proton. Neutrons kissing protons. Watching the electrons walk upon its own ring. Falling in harmony to the old dance of life. The dance of the song that drove the dream, that drove the harmony of peace. For within the power of the proton And in the electricity of the electron, there is peace. There is peace. There is harmony. Sway with that harmony. Feel that harmony. Understand that harmony. Let your body loose. Feel that harmony. Feel that harmony. Feel that harmony. Feel. Feel. We're bacteria. 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 When bacteria into the heart of bacteria. With their long, hippie hair. And their powerful sirens. Bacteria! 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 When bacteria dominated the earth, and there were no humans. The bird is house bacteria. George Bush Rumsfeld is descended from bacteria. Helmut Kohl is descended from bacteria. Mikhail Gorbachev is descended from bacteria. Nikolai Lenin was descended from bacteria. Adolf Hitler was descended from bacteria. Michael Jackson is descended from bacteria. Aus bacteria, aus bacteria, aus bacteria. George Washington is descended from bacteria. You are descended from bacteria. Bacteria! Bacteria! Buddha was descended from bacteria. Moses was descended from bacteria. Mohammed was descended from bacteria. Jesus Christ was descended from bacteria. Copernicus will not exist. Their heart will never descend. Bacteria! 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 There was once a time when all humans were black. Charlie. It was a time before humans knew the cold war. The black skin protected from the torturous sun. Deep on the belly of the earth, where the crying rivers brought word of cooler places. Like the snow, cooling the sun, but more like the sun, boiling the snow. There was once a time when all humans were black. There was once a time when all humans were black. There was once a time when all humans were black. Charlie, 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 black, black, Charlie, 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 Charlie.
shit.